Hoping you can all hear me. Perfect. Welcome to our session today, Modernize Your B2B Revenue Engine with Intelligent Marketing Orchestration. I can see a lot of people I recognize in this room, which is awesome. My name is Isabella Hargreaves. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Adobe, and I'm joined by two lovely colleagues today, Mihai, Prisacariu, Practice Lead Solution Consulting at Adobe, and Debbie Rovers, Senior Director of Marketing Technology at SAP. We've got quite an agenda for you today. We're going to start off looking at some industry trends and how AI is disrupting the B2B marketing playbook that has existed for so long. We're then going to dive into the Marketo Engage roadmap. Anybody a Marketo customer in the room? Wow, everyone then. You've come to the right session. After Marketo, we're going to look at the marketing orchestration evolution. So if you've read the session description, this is how we're looking at beyond marketing automation and the future of B2B marketing technology. We'll see a demo from Mihai. We're then going to look at the product roadmaps that power this marketing orchestration revolution. We'll have a fireside chat with Debbie as SAP are rolling this technology out. Look at the key takeaways, and then I'm hoping we have time for Q&A. I doubt it. So you can probably find us outside of the room after this session if you have any burning questions. So we are squarely in an exciting new era of B2B. If you think about modern demand generation and marketing operations being built on marketing automation, the next era is about AI orchestrating a lot of the routine work and decisions that it takes to engage customers at scale. I don't think, though, enough emphasis has been put on the human part of this equation. At Adobe, we're optimistic about the strategy, creativity, and productivity that AI will open up across customer-facing teams. Things that previously took hours have begun to take seconds or minutes. And ultimately, AI will need human leaders to direct, to guide, and to validate. And that's why this next era of B2B will belong to those fearless leaders who learn to use AI to drive business outcomes. So our digital trends survey of over 3,000 execs found one thing clear. B2B marketing leaders feel both the promise and the pressure of AI. 63% expect agentic AI to free teams up for more strategic, creative work, but actually 57% say that AI is changing how their teams work faster than employees can adopt. And that is fair, you're busy, and it's changing both how you work and the customer journey at the same time. With top-down pressure to do AI, I hear that tension show up in three places. Productivity, not just automating tasks, but freeing teams for strategic work. Personalization, using data and content to drive consistent contextual engagement across channels. And in pipeline, with 81% of CMOs now expected to drive revenue directly, it's about turning engagement into pipeline across the full lifecycle, acquisition through retention and expansion. Now, the ambition is there, the demand is there, but the infrastructure holding it all together is not keeping up. Only 18% of enterprises are working with truly integrated customer data. That means most teams are prioritizing on incomplete signals, so guessing which accounts are ready, which leads to chase, and that's not strategy, that's hope. And even when you know who to target, building the campaign to reach them is still largely manual. So 89% of marketing orgs are being asked to do more with less. So complex multi-touch campaigns at scale, but they don't actually get easier without AI, they get harder. So the result is that personalization suffers. Just 20% of B2B journeys today are truly personalized. And we're not talking first name tokens. We mean the right industry in front of the right decision maker at an account that's actively in cycle at exactly the right moment, which is not much to ask for, right? So with all that friction, guesswork, manual builds, low personalization, it's no wonder marketing feels stretched thin. You should be on track for this AI revolution, foot down, moving fast in pole position like Charles Leclerc. Anybody watch the F1 this weekend? British Grand Prix? I've woven in a joke here. But right now, it probably feels a little bit more like you're in the pits, wrangling data, troubleshooting, cranking out campaigns by hand, and squeezing in AI experiments on the side, or maybe even crashing out like Max Verstappen on Sunday. And when that eats up all of your time, there's none left for the strategic stuff, so new engagement strategies, optimizing the funnel, or thinking ahead. That's about to change. So we are delivering some super exciting AI-first innovation across our product portfolio, but we wanted to start with showing you the latest and greatest in Marketo Engage. So I'm going to introduce my colleague Mihai, who's going to give you a fantastic demo.
Cool, thanks, Izzy. So in a second, hopefully we're going to see also the lovely screen that we have coming through. We just wait for this, the tension. There we go. Cool. So today, what you're going to see here is the new Marketo Engage. So one of the first things that potentially you're going to observe is that it might look slightly different than what you are used with. Yes, we kind of lost the purple, I know. But Adobe, we as Adobe, we've modernized the whole experience of Marketo, making it more in line with the Adobe's other products from the portfolio. And while we preserved just the workflow, so we preserved everything that it was good in Marketo, we didn't touch any of that, just the purple again. And for the real passionates, I know that this is a bit of a joke, but sometimes we've heard a lot of the points. Do you have a dark mode? And yes, we do. We launched also a dark mode for the true passionates one. But let's see how this looks like in detail and what this means.
Mihai, are you telling me that this is actually Marketo Engage?
Yes. Finally, we've got to the point of just having a new UI and changing it and making it cleaner and crisper in there. And if you're asking me, probably this is a really important milestone in the life cycle of Marketo. This is to reinforce our investment in the product, as well as, if you're asking me again, this is the highlight of the session, because that's why we are here, so we can close the summit after this. So the productivity enhancement that Izzy was talking about is gained in two main measures. One, we've improved the UI that you're going to see, and also we've embedded a lot of the AI processes. So we're going to review it in a second. But now, if it is to open up some of the Marketo programs that we have in here, you see that the whole navigation is cleaner, it's easier to navigate, and we didn't design it just for the sake of a design. So existing programs, assets, navigations, they all remain familiar. So this is because we want to have the adoption as quick as possible with the less disruption involved, because we know that Marketo, it's been around for a while, and you have a really massive operational practice which was set it up. So here we have one of my favorite programs, the Nurture program. And we see that not much has changed, so the workflow is pretty much there. But why should we change it? Because we know that it is a proven program, it is productive, and is delivering whenever it needs to deliver. The same we did also for the analytics. So if it is to look on this on the tab, we refreshed it. We've improved how this is displayed. Cool. So furthermore, and getting to the second stage of the productivity, we're going to look on what AI is actually going to bring to the table. So the second major productivity enhancement in speeding up the tasks is coming from the Marketo UI. So rather than introducing it as another standalone solution, features in isolation, we just integrate it as part of the day-to-day tasks to speed it up and make it faster. So let's see how this looks like from the point of view what we've announced. So this is slightly smaller than I was expecting, but we're going to start from one of the tasks that we need to deliver. So in one of my briefing meetings, I was tasked to create a new webinar campaign. I needed to do it fast. So there are a couple of things for me to speed up this process. First, I'm going to use these validate programs, which is one of the skills that the AI unlocks. This is because the program QA and the validation, it is a tedious task. It takes you hours and hours to get through everything which is happening behind the scenes. So before going live, I'm going to select which is my campaign that I'm interested. So I'm going to use the interactive webinar in this case. I'm going to provide the context, and I can see already what type of skills the agent also proposes me. So I'm going to select the rules-based, and I'm going to continue. So within a couple of seconds, the AI just produced. It went through the campaign, through my program, and it starts to flag me where the potential errors are. So it's looking on the tokens, it's looking on the links, it's looking on the emails, all this before launching this campaign. So I immediately know where I should focus next. Cool. So even if to continue with my task, now it's getting to the point where I will need to create a program. So for this, I'm going to use, again, one of the skills that we've pre-built it, and we've baked it into the AI, and I'm going to build a new program. So when this happens, I'm prompted to say what I'm interested to do. So what is my intent? So first of all, when I'm creating this new program, I can start it from scratch, so I can input the whole prompt in there, so in natural language. I can provide a campaign brief, where I can include all the details describing the audience, the objectives, anything that it needs to go in there. Or I can start from a ready-made program, which I'm going to simulate. So in this example, I've provided the context to my program that we just validated. And in here, I'm just going to say, OK, I want to create a program in Ed Ramsey's workspace. He was on main stage, so I don't think I can ask him for approval. And then the AI, what it does, is actually getting into the process of creating this workflow for me. And how is going to happen? So it's pretty much getting through step by step in asking clarification questions, and which I'm going to provide the answers. And the result at the end is not that I'm going to have another cloned campaign, but rather it's having an end-to-end campaign which is ready to go, and it will be ready to be activated.
This is amazing, Mihai. This used to take me days, and now it literally takes minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, so the end result is to have this in one go. So no longer that I'm creating the clone, or this is an alternative, but rather you are iterating and while still keeping the control of the actions. So next part of the AI, what I'm going to do is that I need to define what is going to be my audience for my program to start with. And for this, I'm going to rely on some of the tasks that the AI is providing, so the import leads, which I'm going to bring it to my panel in order to speed up the whole import. In this case, I'm going to start from a CSV file. So we know that it can be quite painful to get the data because it's not cleaned. But here I see a preview of what the AI will help me with. So it helps me to analyze the entire data, is looking to clean it, and then is going to get the data. So I will simply drag and drop this spreadsheet into my UI. And as the AI starts to analyze the file, it identifies a series of improvements that I can run. So I can see in the recommendation that is looking to suggest that I should normalize the country, which is I'm going to do. I'm going to apply this, and again, it's going to start and browse what are the fields behind the scenes. So in a matter of a couple of seconds, again, it produces me what should be the changes, what are the variations of this field, as well as what is the value that it should get into Marketo. So now I can simply go and import this, and whenever I do this, I already know that the data that comes in, it is cleaned already, and it's reducing the amount of work that is going to be you need to put in after activation, after activating these campaigns. So those are small productivity enhancements which they are adding across the day-to-day, but it will have a compound effect overall. But so far, we just focused on the things which are inside Marketo. The next question that I'm getting quite a lot is, can I bring my own AI into this? And the short answer is absolutely yes. And that's why we've unlocked and we released the Marketo MCP server, which allows you to connect any preferred AI tool, so be it Claude, Copilot, Cursor, whatever you have into Marketo. And not only that you're connecting to Marketo, but actually gaining access to the campaigns, to the programs, having all the governance that you've defined it in place. That is the more important piece, the governance and the control that you are is going to deliver with this. So another big differentiator of having the MCP, and as you see, this is an example from Claude, is that it extends the access beyond the public APIs. I swear I don't do anything. So this MCP, it gains you access to a series of private APIs. In this case, I can think of a reporting private API, which before it wasn't available for Marketo. So for more advanced prompts, like I have, hey, I want to build to find out what is the ROI of the display advertising channel. What it happens, the Claude or the Cursor or the AI of a choice, it will gain access into Marketo, and now it will have access to the whole reporting data, so the raw data. And what you can achieve with this is actually once you surface this data for Claude, you can continue to visualize it in the skills and the tasks that a solution like Claude can provide you. So this is a whiz tour about what the productivity enhancement we've added through the UI as well as through the agents that we've added to Marketo. Back to you, Izzy.
Yeah, thank you, Mihai. Isn't that cool? So that's a look at what is possible with Marketo AI today. Many of you have probably been playing around with that as well. We have been rolling it out to customers over the last few weeks. But I want to zoom out for a second. I want to talk a little bit more about a shift that's happening within our industry. It's not just about features. It's a signal of a bigger shift. So put simply, it's from automation that you build to orchestration that AI builds. Most teams today are in this first world. So manually configuring campaigns, building workflows, cleaning data, pulling reports, and it works, but it scales with headcount, not with ambition. What you saw in the demo is the bridge, right? So it's AI assistance. Agents take on some of this manual work, so cleaning data, programming complex multi-step campaigns, and then freeing up your capacity. So it's still marketer-initiated, but it's meaningfully faster. The real shift is what comes next. So instead of directing tasks, you're guiding an intelligent system towards outcomes. Always-on AI decisioning, driving next best action across every account, every buying group, every moment. That's not traditional automation. That is orchestration. Think about it this way. 20 years ago, marketing shifted from sending emails to designing systems that generate revenue. We're at that same kind of moment again now, and most of you may well have navigated the last one, but this one is moving much faster. And that is why we feel this real urgency to get you the tools that you need to let you build trust and scale at your own pace. Because the teams that crack this won't just be more successful, they'll be doing work that wasn't even possible before. So if that's the shift from automation to orchestration, the natural question you might be thinking is, what does that actually look like in practice? So this is our vision of where we're taking you. Marketing orchestration that solves all three challenges that we talked about earlier: productivity, personalization, and pipeline. By unifying every channel into one connected motion, inbound, outbound, ads, sales, and bringing together the full context of an individual, their account, and their buying group, so every interaction is genuinely relevant for them. So it starts with attract, amplifying your authority and converting interest through intelligent, automated conversations. Then engage with full contextual understanding, sensing signals, interpreting intent, responding at exactly the right moment. And then qualify, so surfacing higher quality demand earlier so that your BDRs can focus on the conversations that actually matter and will drive pipeline. And then wrapping around all of that, AI agents that help your team to plan and create with AI decisioning, continuously optimize the engagement at scale. So not a one-time campaign, an always-on system that gets smarter over time across the full customer lifecycle: acquisition, adoption, retention, expansion. This is when marketing automation truly becomes marketing orchestration, and it's what drives high-quality pipeline with stronger close rates, not by working harder, but designing systems that work for you, that work smarter. So I'm genuinely excited about what this all opens up for you. And next, we're going to bring this to life with my lovely friend Mihai again to give a demo. Over to you.
Thanks, Izzy. Nice. Transition worked smoothly. So in this next leg of the actual demo run-through, we're going to talk about how we're going to improve the customer interactions mostly. And we're going to start doing this from the point of view of the journey optimizer for B2B. Now, obviously, this is going to be supported by and underpinned by a lot of the AI processes. So where the tension starts from. So rather than asking a marketeer to find out all the possible variations and for a journey, for an orchestration path, for the personalization, Journey Optimizer for B2B approaches this slightly differently. It is using AI at the base to constantly monitor and understand how the customer context evolves and to determine the next best experience in real time. So if it is to have a look about how this will look like, let's first understand how to effectively observe and control the journey arbitration. So in this panel I see a quick action about the journey arbitration that is active and running. So I'd like to investigate and optimize the journey decisioning and audience overlap. So once I prompt this will open the traffic control, and I can immediately see where each of the customers qualify for each of the journeys that we have. So Journey Optimizer analyzes every eligible journey together with the customer's current view that we have and we've captured, and is going to look to see which experience it will gain precedence. I can also observe the traffic control analysis, and whilst I review the recommendations, I can delve into identifying which journey the AI selected, the confidence score, and more importantly, is getting to that why factor. So it's looking into providing you the reasoning of explaining what was behind the selection. So we've identified the controls that we can apply for the prioritization with these overlaps and the priority of different journeys. The next challenge is actually to decide where and what should customer receive as part of their journeys. So let's first create one, and this is the easy task. You saw it at the main stage, you saw it everywhere. The AI, it will help you to guide through the whole end-to-end process. As a marketeer, I know already what is in my mind. I know the outcome that I'm trying to achieve, and I need AI to follow up and to do this for me. So the agent will guide me through the process. I'm selecting what is the context. So in this case, I want to replicate another Marketo program. And I want to add additional context from a brief that I've created. So it combines all these together. And then what it's going to provide me with is that it's generating this journey structure. So I can see the different stages that are built. And I can iterate, I can add additional controls. So this is for me to keep in control over what the process looks like and tailor it every step of the time. All right, but the main scope of this, it wasn't the journey creation, but actually the challenge is to decide how a profile will actually get through these journey paths and how can we change and replicate over time. So for this, we've introduced what is called the next best path. This replaces the static rule-based decisioning with AI logic. So when I configure the journey, I still want to provide input about, okay, this is one of the branches that I want to include. So maybe it's a technical evaluator, and this will be the criteria. Then I have another decision maker, and what should be the definition of this. But instead of providing strict rule-based, I'm just describing through a prompt what should be the criteria to qualify. And then as the journey runs and the AI evaluation considers the customer's latest engagement buying role, the product intent, and then is selecting which path is actually the most relevant for this profile in that moment. So once the AI knows the right journey and we've identified how it will guide through the right path, now is finally, there's one final decision to make. So even the most relevant messages can lose impact if you are delivering them at the wrong moment. So for this, when I configure an email activity, I can either choose to send this to the entire cohort once at a time, or I can unlock to have the send time optimization. So this send time optimization actually is looking to determine for each individual what is the best moment to send it, and when it should gain the maximum benefits of this. So when is the likelihood to open the email and to engage with this message. Cool. So continuing into this, the power of the AI doesn't stop actually in identifying this next best path, but actually it is looking into identifying and how we can apply the AI for the personalization. So in this next part, we've unlocked and we've launched the AI tokens, which are similar with the field mergers that you currently use probably for the prioritization, but it just extends it to the next level. So by inserting an AI token, whatever I want the content to be dynamic, instead of just inserting that fixed value, the journey optimizer is going to generate the content along upon the moment when it needs to send out the communication. So if a customer downloads new content or start researching another product, or their priorities just simply changed after I publish this journey, then the journey optimizer, it will reflect the latest understanding when it's coming to resolve the AI token. All right. So, as part of our orchestration, we have a couple of ways that we're gonna launch the campaigns. So we have Journey Optimizer as a omnichannel platform that allows us to do email execution. It allows us to do paid media campaigns. It allows us to do chat interactions and even WhatsApp. So for the chat interactions, what we have is a service that is called Adobe Brand Concierge. Potentially, you saw it also on the main stage. You saw it on all the other keynotes. But what Brand Concierge is Adobe's AI-powered digital companion, and this helps brands to turn static websites into personalized conversation experiences, which are tailored for each visitor's intent and profile. So once I arrive on the website, instead of me just getting through all the pages, reading the products, the frequent asked questions, I'm providing with what should be the intent that I'm after. So then the brand concierge, it identifies that I'm interested in AI solutions in HR, And immediately it begins to guide the conversation with the approved information, is bringing me recommendations, is bringing me answers to the follow-up questions, and is guiding through this conversation naturally. So overall, the brand concierge, it understands the customer intent and is using approved brand content and trusted knowledge sources to deliver grounded on-brand responses. So those responses aren't limited just to text as we saw, but it can include videos, it can include product demonstrations, PDFs, forms. There's a lot of multi-rich media that can be used in there, including multilingual conversations. But this doesn't stop in here. But actually, if we think about it, the true power of this comes from when it's coming to return visits. So as I'm returning to the website, the brand concierge knows exactly what I did before, what I've interacted, what my profile evolution is. So the next natural step in this case, it will be to propose me to schedule a meeting. So for this, it is recommending me exactly to the person with whom I should schedule this meeting, as well as the timings which are available. All these without leaving the boundaries of my chatbot interaction. Once this happens, the next step is making sure that this conversation continues seamlessly into the sales. So here I have what is called sales qualifier. So sales qualifier, it is helping me to identify the AI through the power of the AI, to identify which leads are actually surfacing. Let me zoom in a bit more because it's a bit of a small screen. So the AI is immediately presenting me which are the prospects which will qualify. These are prospects which were already scrutinized by the AI, looking at their engagement, is looking at their buying signals, at the product interest, and the overall, what is their customer context. So as I review these, I can decide and I can know exactly why they were prioritized. So the recommendation is based beyond the scoring and recent activity. It's based on the complete customer context that we've been building throughout this session. And we see the swipe in, swipe out. Well, this is mostly targeted for the BDRs. We know that they are more young, so getting the personal life into the professional. Once I've decided which are the leads, the prospects which are of my interest, then the AI outreach, it will guide me of what should be a sequence of activities, and this sequence of activities is pretty much tailored for each profile. So what I can do now, me as a BDR, still being in control, I can review these recommendations, and I'm going to refine each one of it because I have full control of it with my personal style. So I don't want to just send out regular email templates. So while the AI prepares me this sequence, I still remain in control of the conversation. So the next decision that I need to make is to know when they're actually ready. Of course, I get a lot of reporting, understanding what I'm sending out, how much do I get in response, and so on. So again, once I return to my sales qualifier, what I can see now, it is an improved view of my lead that I previously qualified. So in this case, Brenda, I can go and check, for example, how the recent interaction played, results, how she responded to the sequence that I've sent it. I can see the confidence score. I can see her engagement. So immediately I can take the decision to proceed, or what should I do with this profile. So for me as a BDR, I'm in total control to decide when to qualify and based on what criteria, and to send it out to other colleagues. These insights, actually, they are all available for the sales qualifier, as well as outside of the platform. So it's not bounded just in here. So the last point that I wanted to land today, it is about and let me zoom out from here because it's a different view, is how do I know that everything, it works? So for this, I'm going to rely on Journey Optimizer, on Journey Analytics for B2B. And what I love about this platform is pretty much that it aggregates all the details, all the insights that I need. So looking at the profile analytics, is looking for the accounts, is looking at the opportunities, is helping me to build up these sales stages and identify what is the sales funnel, as well as I can break it down on a flow to see exactly who drops out and where. And again, what I love about this one is the fact that it's also connected on the AI. So with the power of the AI, I can input a prompt to say, hey, show me the total number of opportunities by sales stage, and then I can continue to iterate and add new functionalities, which is going to be added to my graph. So very, very short, this is how we're looking to increase the efficiencies, as well as how we can improve overall the reach of our campaigns.
Amazing. Thank you, Mihai. Everyone give Mihai a round of applause. So what you just saw isn't a collection of point features. It's what happens when you put it all into one platform. Adobe is your marketing operating system. Lead-based marketing, account-based data, buying group precision, all sitting on a single agentic platform. That means less dependency on third-party apps to build campaigns, generate insights, attribution, or qualify opportunities. It means AI injected into every work stream, so more productivity. You're able to generate creative copy, ask an assistant for analysis, ask it to build a journey. We're saving marketers tons of time. And here's what makes that operating system real, not just a concept. Adobe brings together the full B2B stack, from lead management to journey orchestration to unified customer data, all purpose-built for B2B, all sitting on one platform. Now, you've seen a lot of innovation throughout the demo that Mihai presented. We have not stopped there. We have an amazing set of product roadmaps. We're doing a whole host of things in Marketo, in Journey Optimizer B2B, in Customer Journey Analytics B2B, Real-Time CDP B2B, and Brand Concierge. If you are interested in any of these particular features, please do jump over to the Genius Bar in the Community Pavilion, and they can dive a little bit deeper into these. But now, I would love to invite the fantastic Debbie Rovers, Global Senior Director of Marketing Technology at SAP, onto the stage so we can see what this looks like in action. Please join me in welcoming Debbie.
Thanks, Izzy.
Hello.
Hi. Good to be here today.
Yeah, maybe you would like to just give everyone a couple of minutes overview of who you are.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Debbie Rovers. I work for SAP as MarTech Director, and my scope is specifically around omni-channel activation technologies. Our team is on the business side of the house, so my team is responsible for delivering the requirements to IT and driving the business adoption, as well as part of my team are business product owners and managing from the business side platforms day-to-day and doing the day-to-day configuration.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited to have you up here with me because we know SAP is on a journey building on marketing automation foundations with marketing orchestration. How are you thinking about that evolution, and what does that opportunity look like at SAP at scale?
Yeah, so I would like to go a step back on how we started. And I was telling Izzy last week that I found a deck from March 2020. Some would call it a vision, others would call it a dream, but some internally called it a coloring book. And it was actually a drawing of how I saw a connected omnichannel ecosystem and how I wanted to create those connected experiences. But back then, the technologies weren't there yet. So we started, I think, 4 or 5 years ago with the implementation of Marketo. That is also the time that this team was raised on the business side. Before that, it was IT driving the implementations. And I think also on our side, we had a lot to learn, being new, a new team. And we really treated it as a technical implementation. We wanted to do a technical implementation as fast as possible and really focus on automation and increasing efficiencies there. And we succeeded with that, but where we didn't succeed was in the connected experiences. So even then, Marketo had the ability to use intent data, to have behavioral activation, but it was still very much campaign-based around internal KPIs, priorities. So that is what we have been doing the last 3 years, cleaning up the data, cleaning up our processes, standardizing our business strategies. And you hear a lot around cleaning up the data, and that is where I was back then asking myself, yeah, how? Where do you start? And where we started was really first centralizing the platforms, integrating all of the technology platforms, which gave us more grip on the data, no more manual uploads, everything is flowing automatically, and that gave us the opportunity to really clean up the data, redesign the data models, and expand the data that we are capturing, which is now going to enable us with the Adobe products to deliver those connected experiences.
Yeah, I mean, I know you've done a lot of work, and you're now starting to think about building on those data foundations with AI agents, for example. So AI agents are obviously increasingly central to how Adobe thinks about the future of marketing orchestration. But how are SAP starting to think about adopting AI agents, and where do you see the biggest potential to transform how the marketing function works at SAP?
AI, of course, huge potential, but we are looking at it very deliberately and really from our vision. So what are the problems we want to solve? What is it what we want to accomplish? And what kind of role does AI play? So AI is what my IT colleagues would say, it's solutioning, and you shouldn't be solutioning. So we really draft our business problems very clearly. And in certain cases, it will be AI as an assistant, like coworker. In other cases, we will be using autonomous AI. And also, let's not forget, sometimes automation is just enough, or a simple rules engine. But where I'm really excited about is to really start looking into an audience agent. Segmentation for us is really a complex job, especially with the amount of events we have. And it requires specialism, data knowledge, to really create the right audiences. And this is where I see huge opportunity, as well as journey design, designing the right connected experiences. And this is where AI is going to play a huge role for us.
I mean, I like that. It's it's a great point. Not everything needs an AI agent. Sometimes rules-based automation is fine, and deliberately picking the use cases where it can really help, I think, is a really practical approach. So SAP have been rolling out AP, AJO B2B, and soon to be CJA B2B as well across the organization. How is that journey going, and what have some of the biggest learnings been so far?
Yeah, so indeed, we are now doing it differently. So with Marketo, the biggest learning was to not treat it no longer as a technical implementation, but as a business transformation. So we don't only have a technical roadmap, we also have a business transformation roadmap. And we are designing, we started with business visions, strategies, capabilities we would need. And we are making a joint plan with IT to get us on that journey. And the biggest lesson there was, it's like, I don't dare to say this out loud in this group, but the technology is typically the easiest part for us. That's like 30% of the work, 70% is really in the transformation of the business. And that is what we are doing hand in hand with all the business leaders. So really co-creating that transformation and involving them at the beginning of the implementation. So it basically moves us quicker towards adoption.
I think that's the second time someone said the technology is the easiest part today. I think Nathan said it on the main
good,
stage
I'm not
this
the
morning
only
as
one
well.
then.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's amazing. And I think you are really front runners in leading this evolution towards marketing orchestration. As you said, if you could have envisioned what it looks like 6 years ago, you'd already written it down. So we appreciate the partnership.
What a time to be in marketing technology, huh?
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Debbie, for joining me on the stage today.
You're
if everyone
welcome.
would like to give Debbie a round of applause. So that brings me to the end of our session today. I've got 3 key takeaways for you. Number one, we've literally just heard it from Debbie now. Not everything needs an agent. So pick agent, assistant, or automation if it can do the job. Base it on the job, not just the hype. Number two is stop building every campaign yourself manually and start thinking about how you can work towards guiding intelligent systems to drive the business outcomes that you want. And then third is judge all of it, any progress that you make by these three things: more productivity, more personalization, and more pipeline. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the session. We'll probably be out the back if you have any questions that you'd like to ask. Thank you.